takes place in duality. Meaning that no kind of duality is present in Bhuma. This is what it would mean. Anya darshana vishesha pratishedena. On the other hand, merely this is pratisheda, negation of seeing the other, but not negation of seeing as such. Then Atmanam Pashadi Uchyate, then it would mean that one sees oneself. Alright, one sees oneself. So what's wrong with that? Kriya Karga Phalabheda Abhyavagato Bhaved. When you say that you see yourself, then what? I am the seer, I am the seen. Then seer, seen, seeing, all this duality is accepted in oneself. In Bhuma, यदि एवं को दोष स्यात्. Suppose in Bhuma there is duality of the seer and seen, meaning Bhuma sees itself. Bhuma sees herself. In that sense, Bhuma is a seer as well as Bhuma is a seer. Suppose that is so, then what? Then ayameva dosha samsara anivritti. This is dosha. That samsara of the nature of duality, this is not ceased. There is no cessation of samsara involving duality. Kriyakaraka phalabhedo hi samsara iti. What is samsara? Samsara is that transaction, that interaction, that kind of life which involves the duality of the seer and the seen. What it means is that whenever I look upon an object as different from myself and myself as different from the object, then I'm never free from a sense of limitation because something excludes me and I exclude something. What is different means exclusion. The seen is different from the seer, then seen excludes me. What the seen is, I am not. What I am, what drashta is, the drishya is not. What drishya is, drashta is not. So drashta is devoid of whatever the drishya is. And so he is limited because it does not include everything. Limitless must necessarily include everything. But then, Yoga Bhuma, Bhuma is abundant, big, great, limitless, infinite. That should include everything. But if Bhuma is drashta, seeing himself, then that duality of seer seen is included, in which case Bhuma becomes limited. द्वितीय पक्षे क्रियायाः अप्रतिषेधात् तस्याः आत्मविषयत्वे सति क्रियादि द्वैत सिद्धि फलमित्याह. This, that there is Atma Dvaita Siddhi, Kriya, Karaka, etc. is all there. And that is samsara. Meaning that what is meant by duality is a sense of being excluded. That is what is meant by duality. We have taken for granted that the object is different from the subject. The subject-object duality, duality is mutual exclusion. Subject excludes the object and object excludes the subject. So therefore the sense of being excluded, sense of not being included can never leave me. And when I feel excluded, not included, that is when I feel unhappy. I feel limited. I feel rejected in fact. As the ChhandogyaUpanishad says, that whenever you look upon the world as different from you, then world rejects you. Meaning that it amounts to a feeling as though you are rejected. That is samsara. Being rejected, being limited, being not excluded. The kriyayaha karaka sadhyatvat karaka chakre vaktavye. Alright. So seeing is a kriya. Seeing oneself is a kriya. Kriya always involves karaka. The seer, seen, means of seeing is all involved. So this karaka chakra means seer, seen, are they all different from Atma? Or they are that Atma alone is seer, seen, seeing? What do you mean? So then the question was asked, Atmaikatveva kriyakaraka phalevedah samsara virakshana iti chet. So this is where we have to start, isn't it? How far did we come? Hmm? The Atmaikatva. त्यानी सर्व करावं होते. हाँ. So the Tika said, the line number 40, Kriyayaha karaka sadhyatvad. So two pakshas are there. One, the Siddhanta is where Kriya itself is not there. Yatra nanyat, anyat also is negated. Pashyati, the Kriya of seeing also is negated. That is one paksha. Other paksha is anyat, the other is negated, but Pashyati Kriya is not negated. Yatra nanyat pashyati, how do you interpret that? One interpretation is Yatra na pashyati, anyat na pashyati. Anyat also is negated, pashyati also is negated. No vyavahara is there. Other paksha says no, anyat is negated, na anyat pashyati. So nakara only goes to anyat and not pashyati. So seeing takes place. Now seeing takes place in bhuma. Anyat means other is not there. Then seeing what? Seeing the self. So Atma is swasamvedya. Atma is known by itself. Atma knows itself. One paksha. So the pashyati, the kriya remains, anyat does not remain, then I see myself. In bhuma, the self sees the self. That remains. So then says ayameva dosha samsara anivritti. Then samsara is not gone because this kriya karaka phalabheda remains. Then the question is Atmaeva nana karaka rupena vartate vaidi. So then the Purva Pakshi, it will be similar to the Vishishta Advaita, says Atmaeva nana karaka rupena vartate. In seeing my own self, Atma alone is here, Atma is a seen, Atma is a means of seeing, everything is Atma. So within Atma, this difference is obtained. Atmatvam remains, but within Atma, this is called Swagata Bheda. Like in a tree, there is a branch, and there are leaves, and there are flowers, and there are fruits, and there is stem. So even though these internal differences are there, still tree is one, and those things are never different from the tree. Similarly, Atma is there, Bhuma is there, the seer, seeing, all of this also is within Bhuma. Seer is not different from Bhuma. Seener is different from Bhuma. Seeing is not different from Bhuma. All of that is Bhuma. So within Bhuma, this Svagata Veda, the internal difference is accepted. So that is the Pakshatmaikatva. So we read the line 332. pasted line, last line. आत्मैकत्वे एव क्रियाकारक फल भेद संसार विलक्षण इति चेत Atma ekatva, Purva Pakshi says, Atma ekatva, Atma is one. What is one? No sajati veda. It's not there is one Atma and other Atma. No vijati veda. There is Atma and an Atma. Then Swagata Veda is there. Atma ekatva, Kriya Karika Phala Veda. Samsara Vilakshana. In Samsara, is Atma and Anatma. So, very samsara where Atma, Anatma, duality is there, that should be called samsara. But the duality that we are talking about is within Atma itself. Therefore, there is no duality of Atma and Anatma. Anatma can exclude the Atma, but here the seen also is Atma, the seer also is Atma, the seeing also is Atma. So, where is the question of exclusion? Samsara vilakshana kriyakarika phalaveda. In samsara, meaning in the realm of duality, the kriya, karaka, phalaveda is real. Karakas are all different from each other. Here, all of them are Atma. Therefore, this kind of Bheda, this duality is of a nature different from the duality obtaining in samsara. What about that? Iti chet. So, Tika says in line 27, Atmaikatve on the page 333, Atmaikatve satyeva tat avirodhena tasminneva kriyakaraka phalabheda abhyogamaat. Atmaikatve satyeva, Atma remains one only. Tad avirodhena. So Drashta is not opposed to Atma. Drishya is not opposed to Atma. Doesn't stand apart from Atma. Drishta, Drishya, Darshanam, nothing stands apart from the Virodhena. Tasminne when Atma itself, Kriya Karga, Veda Vibhagamat, all the Veda, the duality of the Kriya and Karaka, only is, it does not exclude Atma. Sevitarikta Karakade eva samsaratvat. What is samsara? Where the karma is different from karta. Where object is different from subject. That is called duality. That is called exclusion. That is called samsara. But what we are saying is, Drashya also is Atma and Drashta also is Atma. Therefore, the exclusion is not there. So this duality of a nature different from duality obtaining in samsara. Na purva dosha, this is purva paksha. Na purva dosha ityartha. Therefore, the dosha that kriya karga phala bheda is samsara, that dosha is not there in our paksha. So again, Tikakara continues. Ekasmin kriyakarga bhavasya taseva tatprati karyatva karanatva apatya. Ekasmineva kriyakarga bhavasya. In Atma alone, Drashta is there, so Karta is there, Karma is there, Karanam, means of knowledge is there, Kriya, knowing is there. Then all the Karakas are Karanam, all Karakas, this Karta, Karma, they are the cause which result into the action. For eating is the result. So when eating can take place, eater is there, food is there, then the result is what? Eating. So you can say that all the karakas are the cause and the kriya is the effect. So therefore, kriya karava tasya tat prati karyatva karanatva apatya. So Atma is a karaka, therefore is karanam. Atma is kriya, therefore it is karya. One alone becomes karana and karya. Asambhava. One thing cannot be simultaneously cause and effect. एकस्येव कर्तृकर्मत्वयोः अपि असम्भवात्. And Atma alone is karta. Atma alone is karma. He alone is subject. He alone is object. Their spirit also cannot be in one. What we mean is karma is always different from karta. And karta is always different from karma. You cannot have karta and karma not different from each other. Asambhavat. This is an imagination. How do you imagine? Theoretically, you can say everything is Atma. How? How do you visualize that what you are seeing also is not different from the seer? Then where's the difference? Then where is the seeing involved? Seeing is involved, Real seeing is involved, and I see myself as, as the seer, and what I see also is myself, and seeing also is myself. How do you visualize this? So this cannot be actuated. Theoretically, you can say that everything is shunya, but how do you realize the shunya? You can say Atma is kshanik. How do you realize? It's purely theoretical, but then you cannot actually visualize it. Niramshe abhede amshavedana vidat anupatte anu. He says, no. One part of Atma sees the other part of Atma. Atma's internal differences. One part of Atma, like my hand goes into my mouth. So one part of Atma sees the other part of Atma. How about that? So that cannot, because Atma is niramsha or niravayava. It is partless. Only where part is there like body, the hands and legs and all these limbs are different from each other, then one limb can act upon the other limb. That can happen. But in space, there is no limbs, no avayava, no parts. It can be the one part of space. Where is part? Space acting upon space cannot be. Niramshe amshabhedanabhi tat anupatte. Niramsha means Atma is niravayava, partless, therefore it cannot be that one part of Atma acts upon the other part of Atma. It also cannot be. Na ayam paksha sadhu. Therefore, this paksha, this position also is na sadhu, also is not tenable, not proper. So Vashyakara replies in the first line on this page 333. Na atmanah nirvisheshaikatva abhyupagame darshanade kriyakaraka halabheda abhyupagamesya shabdamatratvat. Says this position also can, because Atmana nirvishesh ekatva savishesha. So Vishishta ekatva is one thing, nirvishesh ekatva. So there is this duality, non-duality, qualified non-duality. So this Kevala Advaitam, then there is Dvaitam, in between there is Vishishta Advaitam. Advaita is the qualified non-duality. Says no, we do not accept qualified non-duality, unconditional non-duality. Not that Atma is Brahman and certain conditions are satisfied as part and whole. Atma is Brahman in the primary sense. So nirvishesha ekatva abhivagame. When we accept the unqualified non-duality, so they say that Ishvara is a whole and Atma is a part, so that also is oneness. That also is non-duality. Qualified non-duality just as between the part and the whole. You said no, we accept unqualified non-duality, no part and whole, because part also feels limited. Even when I am part of the whole, then one part is different, other part, even the Sajati Bheda also remains. And I feel that I am not the whole. So part always feels a part. never feel the whole. If you do not feel the whole, then you are not all inclusive. Then you are limited. Then you cannot be happiness. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham. Therefore, nirvishesha ekatva abhivagame. When we are accepting unqualified non-duality, darsanadi, kriyakaraka, phalaveda, abhivagamasya, shabda matratvat, there is only shabda, there is only imagination. That there is a seer and seen difference, it just remains nothing more than words because this cannot be actually, is not possible. So nirvisheshakatva, Tika says nirvisheshatvam, niramshatvam. When Atma is nirvishesha and niramsha, partless. That's what Anandagiri says. That's what line 15 said. Purupasati bhede kriyade samsaratvam loke drishtam. That kriya karaka, when they are different from each other, then there is samsara. Tadvai lakshanyad. Ekasmineva kriyakarasya bhavasya na samsarata. But we are talking about kriyakaraka veda is within Atma, therefore there is no samsarata. So Anandagiri says, Ekasmin kriyadibhedasya asambhavam darshan. How to visualize that Atma alone is drashta and Atma is drashya, that they exclude each other. There's still one, So asambhavam darshan na Atmana iti. Now says Anandagiri, Dvitiya pakshasya dushtatva. See, two pakshas were there. What are the two paksha? See, in the line number 20, on the page 332, Loka prasiddha darshanadiveshatva bhavamatram bhumna lakshanam tad nishedena swagnyetvam vairi vimarshatah. That, as we said, as Vedanta says, that there is absence of all kriya karaka, all for differences are absent, or that kriya of seeing remains, and swa samvedyatvam, meaning that Atma knows itself. So then, second paksha is this. That will now say Anandagiri, Dvitiya pakshasya dushtatve spashtikrate. Where on the page 333, line 17, Dvitiya, what is Dvitiya paksha? Where in Atma alone, this kriya karaka phalaveda is there, is not possible. So Dvitiya pakshasya, so svavedyatvam. The Atma knows itself, this paksha is not tenable. Because that would involve the duality of the seer and seen, which cannot exist in the partless Atma. So Dvitiya pakshasya dushtatve spashtikrate. Pratham, then the Purva paksha, your paksha also has a problem. In absolute non-duality where the kriya karaka phalaveda is not there, this Vakya yatra nanyat pashyati does not allow itself to be interpreted that way. Dvitiya pakshasya dushtatve spashtikrate. Prathama pakshasya samanam dushtatvam. Dushtatvam means doshitatvam. Dushta means defect. That there is same kind of defect in your position also. Iti shishya shankate. Imagine this is a Guru-Shishya Samvada. Shishya said, Guruji, looks like in the paksha of non-duality also there is a difficulty. In the paksha involving Svavedyatvam, where Atma knows itself, yes, the karma and karta, this Veda is not possible in one. The Karyakarana Veda also is not possible in one. Then, in the paksha where no seeing is involved, then also there is this problem. What's the problem? So now the second line says, Bhashyakara, Anya darshanadi abhavokti pakshepi yatra iti anyanna pashyati iti cha visheshane anarthake syatam iti chet. See, if you see what Upanishad says, yatra nanyat pashyati, nanyat shrunoti, nanyat vijanati, sabhuma. Yatra, where, where one does not see the other, does not hear the other, does not know the other. So yatra does not serve any purpose. If you say there is no seeing, then why should one does not see other? The one does not see. Why other is there? So Siddhandagiri, आद्य पक्षे भी न पश्यति इति एतावता एव दर्शनादि अभावात्. All that was necessary on the word of Upanishad, yatra na pashyati. One does not see. So the other is automatic. Why do you say one does not see the other? What was the need for seeing the other? Just say, if according to you, other also is negated, seeing also is negated, then all that was necessary, yatra na pashyati. Anyat is not necessary, and yatra also is not necessary. So, न पश्यति इतावता एव दर्शनादि अभावलाभात्. Upanishad said न पश्यति sabhuma, न पश्यति न शृणोति न विजानाति sabhuma. This would have been enough. Then yatra, where one does not see, anyat, where one does not see the other. So yatra, where, and anyat, the other, these two words seem to serve no purpose in your non-duality. So if the Upanishad meant to convey unqualified non-duality, then the Upanishad need not have used the words yatra, where, and anyat, the other. All that was necessary to be said is na pashyati sabhuma. So visheshana vyarthe yatra, the word yatra seems to be serving no purpose. The word anyat also seems to serve no purpose. Vyartha means meaningless. That is what the dosha is. That's what Shishya wants to know. Vyarthameva idrisham vachanam vyasankya Shishya swayameva brute. Shishya explains how yatra and anyat, they do not serve any purpose if absolute non-duality was intended by Upanishad. Going to other tika on the line 21, Tat pakshe yatredi adhar adhari bhavas anupatte. He is asking, Tat pakshe, the Vedantin paksha. So yatra, where one does not see, that looks like location, where? So bhuma is a location where one does not see. So where means what? Adhara. So where the table is where the book is. So table is the adhara, the support. Book is what is supported. So yatra is seventh case, adhikara saptami. Therefore, the adhara and adhara, adhikaran, adhikartavya. But adhara, adhara is what is implied by the word yatra. So you must be very careful in using every word. Should not use a single word if not necessary, because any word more than necessary can confuse or can change the meaning also. So why does Upanishad use the word yatra? When it doesn't serve a purpose, it doesn't seem to. Why does the Upanishad say anyat where it doesn't serve the purpose? So it says what it means is different from what you are saying, So then we ask the question, Katham Visheshanayo Anarthakya Asankya. We ask him, why do you say yatra and anyat are anarthakya, they're meaningless, they do not contribute anything, they don't serve a purpose. Why do you say? Tayo prayojanam tavat drishtantena darshayati. So the other paksha, Swavidyatvam, where one sees oneself, in that paksha, yatra and anyat, both of them would be quite fit, quite well. So, call it Shishya or call it Purva Paksha, gives an example of where yatra and anyat would be meaningful. So, Drishyate, Bhashyakara says, Drishyate hi loke yatra. Remember that yatra of Upanishad. Where shunye gruhe, that anyat. Remember that anyat. न पश्यते इति उक्ते स्तम्भादीनि आत्मानं च न पश्यते इति गम्यते एवं इहापि इति चेत् दृश्यते हि लोके. In our day-to-day active life also, we use this expression. Yatra shunye grahe. When there is empty house, anyat na pashyati, when you say that, when you go to empty, I don't see anybody. See whether your brother is there in the house or not. I don't see anybody. This boy goes, and I don't see anybody in the house. I don't see anybody in the house. When he says that, he sees the house all right, you know. Otherwise, he cannot say that I don't see anybody. He sees house. When can he see house? When he sees pillars and beams and stuff like that, you know. That's all he sees. And then he says, I don't see anybody. So he's aware of himself also. So when you ask this boy, go and look for your brother, you know, is he in the house? Where is he? So he goes and says, house is empty, mom. I don't see anybody. He says, in the house, I don't see anybody. When he says that, he sees the house anyway. Without that, he can't say, I don't see anybody. So when he sees the house, then he also sees that I was there and the seer was there. Otherwise, he cannot say, I don't see anybody. So, yatra shunye gruhe, anyat na pashyati yukte, stambhadin, atmanant, stambhadin, the pillars and stuff he sees, atmanant, sees himself also. So then, even though he negates, I do not see anybody, that does not include the negation of the house where this activity takes place, and does not include negation of himself who is a seer. You follow? How that na pashyatra na pashyati is a partial negation, not a total negation. You Vedantin wants to exclude everything, but no. Upanishad perhaps doesn't mean that. Evam ihavi, look at Anandagiri. Loke hi yatra shunya gruhe nanyat pashyati tad devadatyamiti prayoga drishyate. Which is the house of Devadatta? Where one does not see anybody. That's the house of Devadatta. Iti prayoga, meaning that we use this kind of expression. Which is the house of Devadatta? Where one doesn't see anybody. Here also, nachatasya nairarthakyam ishtam. So, there one does not see anybody, there as well as anybody, that's the words are meaningful, not nirarthakam, not useless. Vyavaharangatvat, because those words convey something. Yathacha, tasmin yathokte, dhanadhanyadi adarsanevi. I don't say anything, ma'am. Dhanadhanyadi. You don't see the wells, you don't see the grains, you don't see all those normally things which are in the house, you don't see, it's an empty house. Normally when you go to house with furniture and stuff like that, you see, it's an empty house. I don't see anything. When it doesn't see furniture, doesn't any kitchen equipment, etc. But Stambadin Guram Chanana Pashyadedi. But it doesn't mean that I don't see the house. It doesn't mean I don't see walls. I don't see furniture. But I see the walls so all I say is I don't see the furniture. I don't see anything. What does it mean? I don't see furniture. But when can I say I don't see furniture? When I see the walls, I see the empty house. And I see. So seeing also is there and seeing something else, not seeing something else is also there. And still, yatra, that location is there, an act of seeing is there. Iti Shutasya Nirthakyam Nagamyade. Therefore, there in that kind of that kind of a usage, yatra where is meaningful, nanyat also is meaningful. So when he says, I do not see anything, still he sees something. So seeing is there, even though he doesn't say anything. Seeing what? Seeing himself. Seeing the empty house and seeing himself. They remain. So that's what the Shishya says. Again, the Tika says in line 32, Saptamya Adharatva Pratipadanam Prayojanam Yatra Shunye Gruhe. That's the Adhikaranam Adharatva Shunya Gruhe is where this activity takes place. Anya Visheshanasya Tad Vidirikta Darshana Pratipadanam Prayojanam. I do not anyat na pashyati, I do not say anything else, then tad vidirikta darshana pratipadana. But other than anyat, I see, meaning I see myself. So, in that expression, see this? This says in the empty house, I don't see anything. So, when he says in the empty house, means that there is a location where the act of seeing takes place. I don't see anything, but seeing is there. Seeing of other thing is not there, but seeing of himself is also there. So I don't see anything. Anything serves the purpose by conveying that I see myself. And where? In the house I don't see, so in the house also serves the purpose. So in our position, both of these would serve the purpose. In your position of non-duality, they would not serve the purpose. So tat iha vivaktavyam. So Upanishad says, yatra nanyat pashyati. In Bhuma, one does not see another. Doesn't mean doesn't see. He sees himself and says doesn't see the other. So tasya cha brahmani sarv nisheda pakshe asambhavad visheshana vayartyam. You say that Bhuma is nirvishesha aikyam or nirvishesha non-dual advityam. Then yatra and anya do not serve the purpose. Whereas when we accept our position of svavedyatvam, then yatra and anya serve the purpose. You see how the argument is done. We dismiss that argument on the ground that seeing oneself is not feasible. Because they involve the split between oneself of seer and seen, which cannot be. He said, that argument aside, not reasoning. Look at the Shruti. Shruti uses the word yatra. Shruti uses the word anyat. And that will be similar to this. So whether it is feasible or not according to you, the Shruti uses the word yatra and anyat means that there is seeing of the self involved. Tasya Brahmani sarva nisheda paksha. You are negating even seeing also, then yatra and anyat would not serve any purpose at all. Evam ihapi chet Similarly also is the case here also. So Srishtika ihapi tanandaram vaktavyam tanna sambodhi vishesha ihapi vaktavyam iti che tanna sambhavati. So I guess na means tat na sambhavati. That should have been the answer. That is. All right. Going further. किम विशेषण बला सद्वितीयतम सिसाधयिषितुम उत. So just because the Shruti uses the word yatra and anyat, therefore you want to establish or you want to prove that there is Dvitiya Sadvitiyatvam. Vishishta Advaita is there on the ground of yatra and anyat. Is that what you mean? Uta Visheshanasya Kratimatam Pruchade. Or you will understand what's the meaning of yatra and anyat. So you take the word yatra and anyat to justify your position of Swavidyatvam, seeing oneself. Or you are asking me what should be the meaning of the yatra and anyat in case of the non-duality? What is the problem here? Or what exactly you mean when you ask this question? Adye aparichannitamuktam sukhaswarum viruddhyeda. If you just because the word yatra and anyat are used, you will say that there is a split of the seer seen in the self, then aparichinna, then self becomes limited and limitlessness cannot be. Then yoga bhuma tat sukham, happiness can be where there is infinity or limitlessness. That aksha will not be established. So your interpretation would contradict this statement that limitless alone is happiness. Because if there is serious indifference in Atma, Atma cannot be said to be limitless. So Mashyakara says, or again, same thing in the Anandagiri also. किम विशेषणार्थवत्वनुपत्या भूम्यधिकरण अधिकर्तव्य भाव स्वात्मदर्शन वाच्यमिति उच्यते विशेषणार्थवत्व अनुपत्या because yatra and anyat both of them should have meaning, therefore adhikaran adhikarta, therefore in bhuma there is the adhikaran adhikartavya or location. What is located is what you mean. Swatma and pashyati means sees himself. So yatra implies the location and located, and pashyati implies seeing, means seeing oneself. So on the basis of these words, do you want to say that it involves this? Kim va shrutasya gatihi vaktavya, or you want to know what should be the meaning of yatra and anyat. Tatradyam dushayati. No, you cannot use the word yatra. You cannot justify the position of location and self-seeing self just by the words yatra and anyat, because these words can be interpreted differently. Whereas yatra and anyat can be interpreted in a manner different from this. You are taking them literally, we'll explain it differently. Therefore, first Adyam Dushayati. Bhashyakara says, Na Tattvamasi iti ekatvopadeshat adhikarana adhikartavya bheda anupapattehe. See, we want to see what the Upanishad in as a body of knowledge wants to convey. Meaning that Upanishad conveys absolute non-duality. That view is not simply based on this Vakya, it is based on the Vakyas obtaining in all the Upanishads. For example, in this Upanishad itself, the sixth chapter, 9 times it says, Tattvamasi, that thou art. Meaning that Tat and Tvam are absolutely equal without any qualification. Not that Tat, Tvam is a part of Tat, that this kind of qualification, not unqualified duality, non-duality. So Tattvamasi the Ekatvopadeshat. This Upanishad itself says that Atma or Brahman is absolutely non-dual. Adhikarana, Adhikarta, Veda, Anupatte. In one non-dual, Adhikarana, Adhikartavya, location and located. The table is located, location. Book is located. But located is always different from location. The book is different from table. Then only they can enjoy the relationship of the location located, isn't it? Similarly, yatra means where, if it is interpreted as location and located, they denounce duality. In that case, Tattvamasi, absolute non-duality, cannot hold. So you have to understand this passage in light of what Upanishad says in many other places. So Tattvamasi iti ekatva upadeshat adhikarana adhikarta bheda anupatte. Because Tattvamasi means absolute non-duality. Therefore, the location located adhara adheya. Adhikarana adhikartavya. Location, what is located, that has to be two different. Just as subject and object are different. Similarly, Adhar and Adhya must be different. Otherwise you can't. If table, you can't say table is upon the table. Book is upon the table. Therefore, what is located is different from the location. That cannot be in absolute non-duality. So says the Tika, Yatra sthito jiva na pashyate iti evam jiveshwarayoho adhar adayattvangikare bhadagamaha. There's a yatra means Ishvara. Na pashyati jiva na pashyati. So there in that again the Vishishta Dvaita. There is Adhara, Adaya Bhava, Ishvara and Jiva. Ishvara is where the Jivas are all located. So yatra sthito jiva na pashyati tevam jiveshvayoho adhara adayatva angikare bhadakamaha. Bhadaka means what? Tattvamasi. That negates that kind of duality on the location and located. Then Tika says, Stambhadivat Atmadarsanangikaya Bhadagamaha. Then just as a person sees in an empty house, sees the pillars, so also in the empty Brahman one sees oneself. There is another problem. Tatha. So Vashyakara says, Tatha Sadekamaeva Dvitiyam Satyam Iti Shashthe Nirdhayatvatvat. Tatha similarly means what? Tattvamasi itivat. Just as in the sixth chapter, Tattvamasi was ascertained. So also in the sixth chapter, Sat Egam Advityam. There is a whole theme. Sadeva Swamya Idamagrasi Ekameva Advityam. Tat Satyam Sa Atma. That Sat is one without a second, and that alone is Satyam, and that alone is Atma. Meaning that there is no difference whatever between Sat and Satyam, and no difference whatever between Satya and Atma. It is Nirdharitatva. It's already asserted. In 7th chapter, Shruti cannot do something different. In the 6th chapter, when this same Upanishad has ascertained what the nature of reality is, you cannot expect the same Upanishad to say something else in the 7th chapter. Cannot be. So what the 7th chapter says must be consistent with what the sixth chapter said. That is the first thing. What the seventh chapter that you are studying says should be consistent with what is stated in the sixth chapter. So sixth chapter said unequivocally Tattvamasi, that Tat meaning Ishvara, Tvam means Jiva, both of them are one. And also say Sat Ekameva Dvitiyam, that Sat is Satyam, that alone is Atma, and that Ekam Advitiya, one without a second. Very clearly. Meaning that these things leave no doubt. Nirdharita means what? In the sixth chapter, that this is what is sought to be conveyed by Shruti, leaves no doubt. I mean, people interpret everything in whatever the way, but it would be ridiculous to interpret Tattvamasi in any other way. Atattvamasi, Tasyatvamasi. So Tattvam is taken as samasa. Why should Tattvam be taken as samasa? All, Atma, Tattvamasi. So ridiculous interpretations are given to justify the position, but actually Tattvamasi does not. There is some 7, 8 kinds of interpretation of Tattvamasi, Upasaka, Upasya, etc. But none of them holds. This is a simple equation. Tattvamasi. Tat is thought. That's all. And Ekameva Dvitiyam also. All of them is consistent. So you cannot expect the same Upanishad. Same something else in the seventh chapter. Must be consistent. So says Anandagiri, Nidhayatvat Adhikarana Adhikarta Veda Anupatti Shesha. Therefore, the location located, the duality cannot be in Advitiyam, in non-dual. Then say the Tika in the line 37. Atmanah darshana gocharatve taittiriya shruti virodhamapyaha. Swavidyatvam, Atma knows himself, Atma sees himself. So Atma is a seer, Atma is seen. So when can you see something? When something lends itself to seeing. You can see the light, you can't see electricity. Electricity is not available seeing, just an example. So somebody, I saw electricity, you can't believe him. Because electricity cannot be perceived by eyes. Similarly, if somebody says, I saw Atma, we can't believe because Atma is not seeable. Why? That's what Taittiriya Upanishad says. So Vashyakara says, Adrushye Anatmye. So Yada Etasmin Adrushye Anatmye Anirukte Anilayane Abhayam Pratishtham Vindate Athaso Bhayam Gato Bhavati. Yada Hi Etasmin. When one sees in the self, in this, Adrushya, Atma is what? Adrushya, not perceivable. Anatme, it is bodiless, there is no Anatma. Anilayane, Abhyam Pratishtham Vindate. Where Nilayanam, the location, etc., is not there. And so, all of them are negated in Taittiriya Upanishad. So, Adrushya, Anatme, Atma is Adrushya, means what? Is not perceptible. For you to say that I see myself is possible when the self is perceivable to begin with. If not perceivable, how can you see? Anatmya. So says there's the Tika, Atmatvam Arhati Atmyam Dehadi Tadrahite. See, when can you see something, Eyes can see something provided something is form and color, etc. Anatma means what? Dehadi is not there. Form and name is not there. Therefore also is not seeable. Tadrahite abhayam pratishtham vindate. That's okay. Then one gains abidance in the fearlessness. Kashashrutimapyaha. And Kathopanishad also says here, the sandrushe tishtati rupamasya. Asya rupam sandrushe na tishtati. Asya of Atma, the form does not come in the range of the eyes. Meaning that doesn't have form which you can see. Anandagiri also said that Yachandrat Anyanna Pashyati iti Visheshanat Atma Swadarshana Vachanda Adrashe. Where he said one does not see the other, so sees himself, but there is not possible Atma is Adrishya. Then Bhashyakara says further, Vijñātāramare Kena Vijaniyat Ityade Shrutibhyah Svatmani Darshanade Anupattihi. Vijñātāramare Kena Vijaniyat, says Yajnavalkya Maitreyi. Are, oh my dear, Kena, Kena Karanena Vijaniyat, Kaha Vijaniyat, Vijñātāram. So Vijñātāram is karma. Kena is karanam. Vijanyat kaha vijanyat is the karta. Vijanyat is kriya, you know. So this vakya negates the kar kriya, karma, karta, karanam, all this is negated. All kriya, karika, phala is all negated in that sentence. Says the Tika, Vijñātāram, Vijñāta Sakshanam, Atmanam, Kena Karta, and Kena Karanena, Vijaniya. Kena has both. So, this Atma, who is the Sakshi of the knower. So, the Sakshi, the witness, Atma is witness of the knower, known, knowing. Who will know the witness? Who can witness the witness? Na kenapi vijaniyatiti. Kartrali prakashakasya tat prakashatvanupatte ityartha. Just as a pot cannot illumine the lamp because pot is illumined by the lamp, what is illumined cannot illumine the illuminator. So also karta, karma, all of the illumined by the sakshi, by the witness. Just as in the Panchadashi, in the example of the Natakadipa, the lamp illumines. Then you know, the dancer and the dance and all the various expression on face and the audience and the sponsor. So karta, karma, kriya, all are illumined by the lamp. So they can't illumine the lamp, lamp illumines them. So karta, karma, kriya, all are illumined by the sakshi. They cannot illumine the sakshi. So with what means will you see the sakshi? So that prakashatva anupatte. Therefore, the witness cannot be illumined. So you say that Upanishad means that I see myself. But how can you see yourself? If the self is seeable, self is the very witness, illumining the seer. How can the seer who is illumine the witness, who is the illuminator? Therefore, only Vakyas of Upanishad negate the position that there is a adhikarana adhikartavya bhava because it's advitiyam and tattvamasi non-dual. At the same time, it also adrushye, na sandrushye tishtaru masya, vijñātaram kena vijaniyat. All with also very clearly negating the possibility of seeing the Atma. So Atma cannot receive the conventional sense. That's the idea. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya